Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is pushing for new legislation to investigate the phenomena of UFO. But why don't they just tell us all the stuff that they're concealing in top secret files? Is this the final revelation or just the latest distraction? Hello there, you 6.5 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining us on this great voyage towards truth and freedom. Together, we will analyze our corrupt systems. We will investigate the phenomena that seems just beyond the reach of the senses. We will discover what top secret information could change the way we live our lives. Today's story is a great one. Chuck Schumer, Majority Leader in the Senate, is pushing for legislation to enable a deep investigation into the phenomena around UFOs. Are there living extraterrestrials among us? Have they got extraterrestrial corpses? Are there recovered vehicles? Have we long been in contact with extraterrestrial species, even since the 40s, notably and famously Roswell? But instead of just investigating what's going on, why don't they tell us all of the top secret information from Area 51, open up all the files, for God's sake, tell us what you've been doing all along. And you lot, I know you lot so well, turn on the notification bell and subscribe. It really helps me. Do it now. Would you do it now? Why are you not doing it? Quickly do it. You lot, do you still think this is a distraction from the corruption in the Biden administration, the increasing censorship laws, the march towards a surveillance state, an ever-increasing surveillance state, the obvious new emergent abilities to create meaningful social credit scores, the discrediting of populist political figures like Trump and RFK? Where do you stand on this issue? The reason I'm fascinated by it is because I sort of always have been, because it changes the entire perspective of reality. That's why I like this conversation. The reason the subject of UFOs fascinates me is because we tend to get mired in the contemporaneous mud of our everyday conversation. Oh, they're trying to bring down Trump. No, Trump's the worst guy in the world. Oh, they won't let RFK debate. Oh, RFK, he's a crackpot. These contemporary conversations are important. But if there is life elsewhere in the universe, if there are other dimensions of reality, then these conversations will truly advance the way that we can run our planet, create new systems, create new relationships. As long as we stay within this fixed paradigm, squabbling about the criteria within it, then we're not going to change things radically. Let's have a look at the news around Chuck Schumer and see if we can advance this story and our understanding of it.
And breaking news tonight from Capitol Hill, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will introduce new legislation to declassify government records related to UFOs and UAPs.
They're always doing stuff like this, though, aren't they? We are going to finally tell you why we didn't kill JFK. No, we're not going to tell you. The Pfizer documentation, we're going to reveal it. Oh, just cross that bit out, cross that bit out. But instead of pushing it through these endless legislative cogs, why don't they just reveal to us the information that they currently have? I feel that actually this is a great example of the change in discourse that we all currently require. Instead of having a parental relationship with the state where they debate whether or not to reveal stuff to us or make investigations in the Senate, why don't they just treat us like we are their paymasters through our tax dollars, tax pounds, tax yen, whatever it is you're paying, and they are administrative bureaucrats? When did it become that they're like sovereigns or parents and we're like children? Just give us the information.
That is a big deal, and this just came down within the last couple of minutes, and it comes as things are really starting to take shape for the UFO hearings on Capitol Hill, with House leadership just today confirming that they are tentatively scheduled for the end of this month. The hearings will be happening in just a couple of weeks.
If you, like me, have long been fascinated by this subject, this could be one of those moments where stuff you've known for ages, stuff you've discussed for ages, is becoming popularized and is becoming part of the mainstream culture. Let's have a look at this story in more detail. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, along with a bipartisan group of 5 other senators, introduced extraordinary legislation last week suggesting that the US government or private contractors may secretly possess recovered UFOs and biological evidence of living or deceased non-human intelligence. I suppose for me it's just fascinating to see this stuff in this kind of language rather than in bizarre publications like Protean Times or on Gaia TV. It's odd to see the content of the world of conspiracy becoming the content of the world of the mainstream. So I understand why loads of you go, it's just a distraction while they're globalizing, while they're increasing censorship and surveillance, while they're normalizing digital currencies and co-opting that movement. But I feel that actually there's something in this that goes beyond just the usual distraction techniques. But let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. According to the legislation, non-human intelligence is defined as any sentient, intelligent, non-human life form, regardless of nature or ultimate origin, which may be presumed responsible for UFOs. Oh, so it's like, yeah, aliens. Why are they making that so complicated? We all know what that is. So what do you mean exactly by aliens? aliens. Big eyes sometimes. Be good, be good. Alf, those guys, Chewbacca, all of them. We know what aliens are. According to a statement accompanying the legislation, the 2017 disclosure of a previously unknown government UFO analysis program spurred a broad congressional investigation of unidentified anomalous phenomena. The ongoing investigation uncovered a vast web of individuals and groups claiming knowledge of secret UAP-related programs and information. According to Schumer, the sheer number and variety of UFO-related claims led some in Congress to believe that the US government was concealing important information regarding UAPs over broad periods of time. Moreover, as noted in the legislation, credible evidence and testimony indicates that federal government UFO records exist that have not been declassified as required by law. This is another example of how classified documentation does not automatically mean information that if it was revealed would make us somehow unsafe, but information that would destabilize the dynamic between the governed and the governing. To that end, Schumer's legislation establishes an independent 9-member agency to collect, review, and declassify UAP records. If passed in its current form, the law would mandate that all government UFO documents carry a presumption of immediate public disclosure. I don't have any faith at all, do you, that this piece of legislation will result in, like, Joe Biden shuffling out and go, I've got to tell you something. We've had UFOs for ages. We've known about it since Eisenhower. We've been in communication with extraterrestrials for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands. They're not going to do that, are they? It's like they're trailing another Mission Impossible movie. Coming soon. We are going to tell you everything about aliens and also JFK. And then it comes to it, it goes, there you go, there's that thing, we've crossed out that. But what's under that bit? What bit did you redact? I only want it if it ain't redacted. If someone presents you with a birthday card and in it there's black stuff all over, they might as well not even bother. The proposed legislation follows explosive allegations by a former intelligence official, David Grush, that secret UFO retrieval and reverse engineering programs were illegally hidden from Congress. Importantly, the powerful investigative body that oversees the nation's intelligence agencies found Grush's allegations to be credible and urgent. In an interview with News Nation, Senator Marco Rubio, vice chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, corroborated the broad contours of both Grush's allegations and Schumer's bipartisan legislation. As you know, we make this content in conjunction with some great partners, and I would love to present you with this message right now. Stay till the end of it. Don't you spool now. Don't you spool. I'll make it amusing. Do a thumbs up. Do a comment on the advert. I read the comments, you know. If you've not seen them, I'm replying to them. Here's our sponsor. Thank you, other me. Going online without ExpressVPN is like ignoring the safety demonstration on a flight. Most of the time you'll be fine, but what if one day, who coming down now? The yellow mask. Do I put my own on first? Or do I do this little old lady? I don't even know she. It's better be safe than sorry in these turbulent times, like on an aeroplane, which is why you need a VPN. That's how I do it. Remember, when you log on to an unencrypted network in a cafe, a hotel, or an airport, for example, any hacker worth their salt on the same network can access your personal data. And your data is so valuable that hackers, they can make up to $1,000 per person selling that on the dark web. It doesn't even take much technical knowledge to hack someone these days, just some cheap hardware. For example, I just hacked my dad in the nuts using that then. And that's why I use ExpressVPN. It creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so hackers can't get in there. In fact, it's so super secure that it would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. It's easy to use. Just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. And it works on all your devices, phones, laptops, and tablets. So if, like me, you want peace of mind every time you're on the internet, secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/brand. That's expressvpn.com/brand. And you can get an extra 3 months for free. Let's go back to that other version of me who's less like a Jedi archbishop and see what he wants. Echoing Rubio's comments and Schumer's statement, Representative Mike Gallagher, who serves on the White House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, stated recently that all sorts of UFO whistleblowers are coming out of the woodwork and telling Congress that they've been part of this or that UFO program. Rubio and Gallagher's remarkable comments bolster 2 reports citing multiple military intelligence and private sector officials that defense contractors possess multiple craft of non-human origin. They've already decided, oh my God, there's life from around the universe. It's a miracle. We are all one unconsciousness that emanated from a glorious explosion in the mind of God. Yes, and we could use that explosion to kill Chinese people. Yes, we could. Let's give that to Lockheed Martin. A provision in the new amendment declares that any and all recovered UFOs and biological evidence of non-human intelligence that may be controlled by private persons or entities shall be transferred to the US government in the interest of public good. Public good's not how they run the country, is it? Like, what kind of mindset have you got that you learn that there are extraterrestrials and UFOs? Could we sell that stuff? If Jesus returned to Earth, what are you gonna do? This is good. This is good. The sales of Shroud of Turin tea towels is gonna go through the roof. I'm gonna be able to sell sandals hand over fist now. Not everything is a marketing opportunity or an opportunity to bolster the defense industry profits. This is a possibility to radically reevaluate our understanding of all reality. But what they do is, how can we fit it into current reality and make money from it? Tennessee Congressman Republican Tim Burchett has claimed that he saw classified UFO footage and expressed apprehensions that humans may not be able to handle the technology possessed by extraterrestrial life. Yeah, we can't handle the truth, can we? If you think of it, we're still in wars in Europe. We're still plundering the earth in extraordinary ways. We're still quarreling about the ways that you might express yourself as an individual human being. It's so absurd and ridiculous. And I suppose for me, that is what's fascinating about this story, that it's an invitation to look at reality differently. What this is, if you ask me, is an ontological invite to say, hey, it seems like we're steering our planet towards the precipice of destruction. Some kind of apocalypse, which I know you'll be pointing out in the comments right now, means revelation. Surely a revelation is at hand. Surely a second coming is at hand. This is what this could be. We can decide whether this is an invitation to look at our relationships between one another, the nations of the world, the communities of the world, the way we run our systems, and run them differently. Or we could say, those spaceships look like they would make very good bombs. Shall we sell them to Ukraine? Well, no. Let's give them to Ukraine and let Ukraine destroy Russia with them, then we could take over Russia. Like, how come Tim Burchett is deciding we can't handle it like Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Oh, you can't handle the truth. We better keep this in government control. I don't want that sort of relationship with them. I don't believe they're any better than you or me. I genuinely don't. I don't think that Tim Burchett or Marco Rubio or Barack Obama or any of them are any better than you or me when it comes to it. I recognise there are fields of expertise in this world where people understand deep, complex, neurophysical, biological, cosmological, carpentry. Like, there are fields of expertise all over the place. When it comes to politics, though, I don't believe there's this invisible strata, this boundary that can't be crossed. Like, hello, we are the government. That is the very thing that needs to be dissolved, decentralised, broken down. Look at the way they've behaved previously and up to now. Look at the 3 years of the pandemic. Like, look, we'll be in charge. We're going to just lock you in your houses. These are the measures that we're going to take. Almost every single one of the measures that was undertaken was either flawed or downright wrong. Now we're on the precipice of some monumental discovery. I don't want to put this in the hands of the very people that are responsible for almost all of the blunders of the last century. If they're out there, they're out there. And if they have this kind of technology, then they could turn us into a charcoal briquette, Burchett said.
Charcoal briquette?
Meanwhile, UFO hunter Ross Coulthard claims a giant spaceship too big to move is currently being stored away under a major landmark. Ross Coulthard, you better have proof.
People are going to question what I'm about to say.
Have you heard Ross Coulthard talk before? Like, imagine having phone sex with Ross Coulthard. Listen, I'm about to say something that's very sexy.
What if some of that shit is so big?
Is it though, Ross?
It can't be moved.
Ross, you're moving my one.
How big is big?
Why is he so sexy about everything, Ross Coulthard? Stop being so sexy. Did you see him when he interviewed David Grush? Listen, I don't like the sound of what you're saying, mate. You're making me tingle down under.
Big. So big they built a building over it in a country outside of the United States of America.
Why is a glint in his eye? I can only assume this. I'm going to ring him because I know Ross Coulthard now. Is he saying, like, under the Sydney Opera House? Like, it's got to be a major landmark, hasn't it? And Australia, let's face it, that's the only one they've got. So he's sort of saying, isn't he, that there's a UFO under the Sydney Opera House?
I know that sounds preposterous, and I know, oh my God, you can just hear them now, the bleating debunkers.
Those bleating debunkers, don't you debunk me. I'll bunk you so hard with what I've got downstairs, so big it can't be moved. My one's big enough to build an opera house on.
Let's see this investigated. Let's just see what happens. Let's test these allegations before the Congress. It's very, very easy for people to go, oh, there's no evidence. Oh, my goodness me. Let's just go away and ignore it. Let's test it.
Ross Coulthard's certainly very passionate about UFOs and believes that we should have access to all of them. They're big. They're extraordinary big. They're big and they're bloody sexy. Meanwhile, it seems that the United States of America want to continue to control and monetize potential technology. But where do you stand on this issue? Do you believe this could be a potential ontological shift? Do you think this is just another distraction? Do you think in the next 5 years we're going to see major revelations, or do you think they will mire it in bureaucracy and obfuscation? I think we have to see this as a potential catalyst to a new and emergent model of reality that is trying to be born right now. Our old systems of government are dying. Our old systems of media are dying. Our old systems of justice are dying. And that is very scary for establishment figures, for establishment politicians, for globalists that see the future of our world as one enmeshed web of centralized power. That is not the solution to the world's problems. What plainly needs to happen is more diversity, more decentralized power, more democracy, more freedom, right down to the level of the individual and right out to the level of the community. And maybe these extraterrestrial revelations will help us to contextualize our minuscule reality better and show us that we needn't be squabbling among one another about old economic models and even technological miracles, which in the eyes of extraterrestrials are little more advanced than the wheel and the fire. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments below? If you like this video, have a look at either of these. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe. More important than any of that though, if you can, please stay free.